This is one of our carney blocks here. It's probably the longest one we've had. I think I retired that as soon as I took the farm over. It was a great bit of native bush just in the middle of the flat, so I just fenced it off. And if you look down around, all these waterways are now fenced off. Some of them my father fenced off, where you can see the established sort of older trees, and then looking down there where you see the flax, that's all stuff I've done. So they're sort of 15 to 20 years old, a lot of those plantings now. Wherever we needed shelter, sort of prioritised that first.
Yeah.
And then from a management perspective, it was kind of a no-brainer to fence all those little small creeks off, because they're a pain in the neck. And yeah, so this has been a KNE for a long time. It's on Matariki. We have a number of key native ecosystems. 2 or 3 of them are based around the coast and the estuaries that are here, that are probably quite unique.
So this is the Homewood coastal key native ecosystem. So it's just beyond this fence, out to the beach along the coastal dune area.
Well, it runs right down the coastal band and takes in this estuary, and then it runs up to the north there, right along the coastal band, and I'm fairly sure that it connects with the Riversdale key native ecosystem. So there's a band along the coast which they're obviously trying to protect.
Like kilometres long. There's pingao, which is a nationally threatened plant species, and there's banded dotterel is another one that's well known. But yeah, there's dozens of at risk or declining bird species being sighted on this key native ecosystem.
We have a number of bush key native ecosystems on the farm as well. Some that I'd retired previously, and then Greater Wellington approached me about sort of bringing them into their system of trapping and looking after them, which since they were retired we were more than happy to do that. Some farmers have been a little bit fearful of them because of some of the restrictions you have around a key native ecosystem. I've always thought, you know, as long as it's not affecting your farming platform too much, then if it is an important ecosystem, then we should try and protect it and improve it. And I suppose that's where I'm at with the program, is making it better, and those plants and or birds or wildlife that are endangered, we're hopefully helping to protect them going forward. And it's kind of cool to see them develop over the years, because they definitely do sort of revert back to a more natural state than when we're constantly throwing sheep and cattle at them. And a big part of the ecosystem is the pest control. So we've got traps around all of our key native ecosystems, and they're checked once a month by a contractor to Greater Wellington, and we will receive funding from Greater Wellington to buy all the hardware, which is actually one of the biggest costs.
Yeah.
So that's helped us get going and get things moving. So yesterday that was the results of
out of the trap: 17 hedgehogs, 3 rats, 1 stoat, 1 cat, 1 weasel, 22 or 25 bait stations empty.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I get that once a month from him for all the carnies on Matariki. We're really targeting stoats, weasels and wild cats is a big one for us. Cats has obviously been a focus of ours. We had some bad abortion in the sheep a few years back.
Toxo plays most of the
Toxo. So yeah, we're pretty keen to reduce cat numbers, wild cat numbers if we can, because it affects sheep farming so heavily if you get it wrong. Yeah, so Matariki has been involved with Greater Wellington through my father since they set up the, I don't know what they were called back in
Soil Conservation Board, probably.
Soil conservation plans back in the 1970s, which just started with basic poplar and willow planting. And we're lucky on Matariki also, they've funded a lot of structures in creeks, because creek erosion was a big problem back then. So these days we're still planting poles. To be honest, it's getting quite hard to find areas where we need to plant them, because we've been involved for 50 plus years in this program. So as you can see, the landscape's covered in them and all the gullies have trees in them. So that's fantastic.
Stopping erosion is a twofold goal. Obviously the first one is the environmental goal of preventing sediment and phosphorus from getting into waterways, which obviously has a detrimental impact on our freshwater ecosystems. And the other one sort of stems from the 50s ethos of soil conservation, so making sure that farms remain profitable and erosion prone land is maintained on that hill, because building soil takes a long time, decades, centuries to build good soil. And so maintaining it on a slope is key to a farmer being able to farm it and make money off it for the benefit of the region. Yeah. Yeah, so when did you retire this?
From memory, I think this part that we're standing right next to here was in 2018. I think at the time Josie was my land management officer and said there's an opportunity through the Hill Country Erosion Fund to retire some land. So we retired it, and we have done some planting. You can definitely see that it's just going to thicken up. You know, it's an area my dad loved up here. He had retired some of the bush, and we've just extended the retirement to really preserve what was there, because if you don't retire it, it does shrink over time. The stock get into the margins. The actual bush sort of all right, but years on years on years, that will gradually get smaller and smaller. So we're just preserving what's left there. As you can see, over time, it's beaten the gorse, which was the predominant species when I was a kid up there, and now the bush has won in most of the places.
Did you notice at all any of the spots you have planted with poles, did they respond a bit better to the cyclone?
Oh, definitely. You know, we don't see a lot of slipping in areas where you've got established pole planting, but sometimes you do lose young ones. But we will chase slips. We go around and plant the base and the heads of them after they happen, and so hopefully next time around they'll stay bite. And they'll bite. And there's no doubt in my mind we're a lot more resilient at Matariki than we would be if we hadn't planted anything for all those 50 years that they've been going on. You know, once you get a slip in a paddock, it's kind of a waste area for that season anyway. You know, we've chosen to put the environment in pasture, so this is a kind of way to make that pasture more resilient by adding the trees into it. And the structures in the waterways is a bit the same. The waterway erosion is actually, it's quite major, and even I've seen it in my lifetime, where a little creek I could jump over is now 3 metres wide, 3 metres deep. So yeah, the riparian area for us is basically retiring, depending on the type of waterway, anywhere from sort of 2 to 3 metres from the edge of the waterway up to 7 or 8 metres if it's a bigger waterway, and then within that margin you just plant native species and trees that will stabilise the banks while trying to maintain the area where the water is as being sort of clear and free flowing. I know for the ecosystem that it is good to create shade and to keep the water temperature lower, because when they're completely open, obviously in the summer the water gets very hot and then basically nothing can survive.
In this first terrace, the water qualities are really good.
Yeah.
Like temperatures are really low, it's like super clear, like visibility is really high.
Because it only comes from
there. Well, and you guys take care of the place.
Yeah.
Greater Wellington Environment Restoration provides funding through riparian program for funding the fencing and planting around riparian margins for stock exclusion and biodiversity. And we match farmers dollar for dollar to do that. Yes.
Yeah, all of my Matariki riparian planting over the years would be 50-50 match funding from Greater Wellington, and they will have done all the planting. We've probably done the fencing, and yeah, it's worked well.